It's not RC. Adventures in Radio Control. So, welcome to the van. Here we are. Let me show you my setup here. Let's see. Down here, we have a whole bunch of, we got two marine batteries. These are deep cycle 12-volt batteries. I got capacity like you wouldn't believe. I could charge stuff all day long and not have to worry about it. Lots of power. I got my little Buck Rogers control panel thing going on over here, and as you can see, I got running about 12.8 volts right now on the whole system, so I got plenty of power to play with. And this will be the Hobby King Turnigy quad charger. I forget exactly what the price is on this. Somewhere around $100 I think, but it is a 4 chargers. They're completely independent. Each one runs about 100 watts, so you know it's good for charging, you know, like 3-4 cell stuff, no problem at all. And the beauty of it is you can charge, you know, all this stuff independently. You can put different capacities, different cell counts, have them all going at once, and the deal is you can charge more than one thing at a time, which for me really works out great. Alrighty, let's get this thing unloaded and do some flying. So, I'm pretty sure all my batteries here are going to be charged. Alright, let's pause this for a second. Yeah, I recorded this footage earlier this year in high hopes of showing how cool my battery charging techniques were. I had all sorts of good ideas about how to do stuff, and it turns out they were really bad ideas. So, yeah, let's see why that is the case. So, almost exactly a week later, I was out filming this KA-8 sailplane, getting some footage of that, and, well, this happened. Car's on fire! Shit! Looking LiPo fire! Is it? I decided maybe it was a good idea to put the camera down at this point. As you can see, my van is on fire. Yeah, that's not good at all. Flames coming up out of the back seat, right where I was charging my batteries. What could have caused that, I wonder? Holy
Good heights, I would have never...
I was just walking back, I was like, holy cow, that's a fire. Wow, that's a LiPo fire there. Whew.
What was it, charging?
Yeah. Yep. Woo! Well, that ain't gonna smell too good. Holy cow. Alright. I think the seat in the
yeah.
I caught it just in time. It looks like holy.
Some water to put on there?
So what I didn't catch on the video was basically I just took my floor mat and threw it on top of the fire and put it right out. And this is just moments after that. Yeah, boys and girls, that's why we don't charge unattended. Look at that. It's made a good mess, huh? Messed up my ceiling fan. Woo! Still a bit of a battery sitting in there smoldering. Holy cow. Wow. Ooh, that was exciting. So this is all that was left of my LiPo battery. So what the heck happened, I hear you ask? Well, I don't know. I was charging a little, I don't know, what is this? 2-cell, 850 milliamp pack, little dinky thing. Charging it, you know, normally, 1C, you know, just like I've done a million times. The pack was, I don't know, probably about 10 months old, I guess. It was a little bit puffy, but nothing bad, you know, nothing crazy. Good pack. It was balanced as far as I know, no problem with it, and it just went poof. So she went up for no good reason, which is very scary, and is exactly why you don't charge unattended apparently. I'm just really glad it wasn't like, I mean, it was this thing that went up, caused all that problems. Imagine if this thing had gone up. That would have been quite a different story. I don't think I would have been able to put this guy up. So, scary stuff. So now that something really, really bad had happened to me, I finally decided maybe I should be safer about my batteries. So first thing I did was I went over to YouTube and I started researching lithium fires. And I found this really cool series by the Utah Flyers, and I highly recommend you view this. I thought it was pretty interesting that it's unusual for all the cells to go up at once. So if you've got a multi-cell LiPo, as most people do, each cell seems to go off in turn, one after the other, sort of a chain reaction. This series of videos goes on to explore other scenarios and what happens when LiPos are in different containers and whatnot. Definitely worth a watch. Now, an ammo box may seem like a really good idea, but unless there's somewhere for the expanding gases to escape, you're going to have a bomb on your hands, which would be very, very bad. Interestingly here, he's got a hole in this one, so as you can see the expanding gas is escaping. It's under a lot of pressure in there, and if it was a really big battery, who knows what would happen. But the other interesting thing is it's not catching on fire, if you notice. It doesn't always seem to happen that way, but most of the time having it in an enclosed space seems to definitely cut down on the whole explosion fire thing, which is good. Now the other thing that happens in a LiPo fire, almost as bad as the fire itself, is it fills up the space. For example, in my hobby room, if I was charging in here, it would fill up the entire room here with this nasty, acrid, white, caustic, corrosive smoke. Horrible stuff. And what it does is it gets over all the metal in your room, and it causes it to sort of corrode and rust. And just imagine everything in your hobby store, in your hobby shop or your garage, wherever you charge your batteries, looking like a rusty old trailer hitch ball. It just destroys all that stuff. So, that's an absolute nightmare. So if the fire doesn't get it, the fumes will. So that's the other problem with this stuff. Okay, kiddies, let's recap. Alright, what have we learned? 1, LiPo batteries will burst into flames. That's bad. 2, when they do burst into flames, there's a lot of expanding gas and stuff, so that's bad. And 3, the expanding gas will fill up your room and will corrode all the metal in your house. Also bad. So, what are we going to do? Well, I'd like to put it in a container of some kind. I think that, that keeps the flames from getting all over, if it's in my house, it will contain the flames, hopefully. Whatever I put it in has to be vented in some way so that it doesn't turn into a bomb and explode when the battery goes up. And lastly, I don't know, I really don't want these fumes filling up my house, so what to do? Okay, I'm about to show you what I came up with, my solution. I have to make it absolutely crystal clear. I'm just a guy who watched a couple of YouTube videos. I don't know much about this stuff, so if you decide to do what I've done here, it's completely on your own head. I make no guarantees that this will solve the problem. I don't even know if it will work for me. Hopefully it will. But anyway, if you do what I'm about to do, be it on your own head. I take no responsibility for that. So anyway, let's see what I came up with. I went down to the local hardware store and looked at lots of containers and this and that, and this is what I came up with, this big metal toolbox. It's big, which is I like that. You can put lots of batteries in it. Being that this is a metal box, I figure it's fireproof. What I'm not so confident about, though, is its ability to contain an explosion. So I want to ventilate this thing. When the expanding gases and whatnot come from the battery, I want to give them somewhere to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a big hole in the back of this thing. And a pretty big hole, I figure, so there's plenty of room for the expanding exhaust gases to escape and get out of my box without making it into a bomb. Anytime you're drilling metal, it's a good idea to put a little oil on there. Helps lubricate the drill bit, keeps things from getting too hot. Oh yeah, that's a good hole. That looks plenty big enough, I figure. you'll see I've got this little metal pipe I got from the plumbing department in the hardware store. I'll explain what that's all about in a little bit. Before I get further into this project, however, it occurred to me a black metal box sitting out in the summer sun with a bunch of batteries inside is probably, like, not good. So I decided I would paint this a lighter color and hopefully keep things a little cooler inside. It's quite possible I may have got a little carried away with the paint job on this thing, but if you're going to do something, it may as well look good. With the deluxe paint job complete, it was time to get back to the project. Here's a few knickknacks I put together to dress up the hole a little bit. All I'm really doing here is just using a hose clamp to bolt this little pipe in there good and solid. That certainly adds a little bling to my LiPo box. It's not all for looks though, it is actually functional. Once again, here's the mysterious piece of pipe. We'll get to that in a second. So there's that idea. I kind of like it. Hopefully that'll work for me. Yeah, I think that'll work great. So, got access to all my batteries, nice and easy, indoors, safe, clean. But if anything bad happens, all I'm asking is hopefully we'll go out the house and take out the middleman. But and the other thing is, it's nice that you just pull it off there, and off you go to the field, ready to go. It's, seems like it's a piece of cake. Put it right back again. Either easy is good because that means I'll use it and keep it that way. So I like it. Well, hold on a second here. That's great for storage, but what about charging? Well, I have decided, perhaps somewhat wisely, that I will no longer charge in my van, and I will not charge in my house. I just don't see any reason to, so what I'm now doing is I'm charging out in the driveway or at the flying field. And I do that outside of the rear of the van, completely external, so if anything goes up in flames, it'll just be sitting out there on the asphalt. So for the time being, I'm just running a jumper cable out of the back of my van here. I have plans to make a proper cable, something that won't short out if I'm not careful with it. Yeah, this is working for now. Just anything just to get the batteries, away from stuff that I care about. I put a coat of paint on the windowsill pieces just so it looks a little nicer and, it'll hold up to the elements better. Well, there you go. That's what I'm doing. I gotta restate this one more time. I don't know if this will work. If a battery goes up in this thing, you know, will it blow up? Will it burn my house down? I couldn't tell you. But I feel pretty confident this is going to help me out. You know, if you want to do this, be my guest. But, you know, I can't guarantee it's actually going to work. Anyway, there you go. Take care and stay safe. Car's on fire! Shit! We can LiPo fire. Is it?